don't have a theme song yet, but I do have that. Ooh, somebody's answering me. Let's see what they've got going on here. You are currently live. You are now currently live. We're going to do a little shake and tumble here, everybody. Hi, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to the main event. Welcome to the one thing you can say to me. I have one person watching my introduction be. So thank you for coming in, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Hey, Patty, how are you? First one in. Look at you go. You know, I shoot for like 7 o'clock, which means that I'll actually get on at 7:30. Caitlin, how are you? So good to see you guys. We'll do some shuffle up and heel today. Judith, wonderful. It looks like YouTube's showing up today. YouTube is showing up. So I want to share with you guys. I'm going to start with the story because, you know, that's what I do. I like to tell stories. I like to give experiences and anecdotes and all that other good stuff. I did something I have never done before yesterday. Never done. Didn't do it. Haven't done it. Don't know if I'll do it again. I will, but I'll be a little more planned this time. I played music, live music, just me, just guitar, book of songs, and yeah, I did it. I struggled through it. And it was a real struggle, and I do mean a real struggle. It was one of those things that man, oh man, did I have a hard time with that. When I came out, I was super nervous. I was not, like I said, I wasn't very planned. You know, usually what you do is like, as a band, I forgot all the things that, like, you know, years of playing music, years of, you know, filling in for people or whatever. What you do is you get the first 3 tunes down. Like, you know, any band you're ever going to see, when they practice, they'll practice their new ones. They'll get them into the mix. But, you know, even if it's your first song of the practice or your last song of the practice, you want to make sure that the first 3 tunes are really well done. And you want to make sure you're clicking. Right? Like the first song, it will be like something, it'll be like some sort of blues scale. It'll be something where you can really kind of, you're just warming people up. You know, you're not in Bon Jovi. They're not there a half hour before you start. They're not there 2 hours before you start. You know, you don't have to come out with, you know, You Give Love a Bad Name. You don't have to come out to Bad Medicine. You can ease into it a little bit. So you can play something, you know, a little more laid back or whatever. And I just wasn't planned. I just did not plan well. Hey, Francesca, how are you? Angelo, good to see you. Aaron, great as always. Thanks, Patty. But I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to go outside my comfort zone. And, you know, the way that my brain works, this is just how I work. I need challenges. I just need them. If I sit around too long, I mean, when I get challenged, then I actually become better at reading, you know, doing readings. When I write, I get better at readings. When I, you know, do different sized events, you know, if I do private events, if I work with people in recovery, if I meet challenges, I actually get better. I get better at the other stuff. So earlier this year, I was unceremoniously dismissed from a place that I had offered to do some comedy at, which was me kind of like going, hey, I'm going to do a 10-minute set. I'm going to craft it. I'm going to work it. And there were a lot of reasons why it went south. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was they've got stuff that they were working out, and they worked it out on me. And, you know, whatever. And I'm like, how else can I challenge myself? So what I did, two things when you challenge yourself. If you want to be a codependent challenger, you put a lot of things to the other people. Like, for instance, when I was doing that comedy fundraising thing, it was really contingent on them following through with the people and everything else. And I couldn't do everything I was supposed to do. I just let it kind of flow. And then when things kind of fell apart, I was like, well, whatever. And I caught myself. Like, I was like, well, I have an out. And I talked to some other things. I still have some comedy stuff in the works to do some charity things down the road. These haven't come to fruition yet. But then I'm like, how am I going to challenge myself otherwise? Well, as much as I talk about music and as much as I pick up the guitar and as much as I have meditation CDs out, I have never done the singing / playing at the same time thing. And that is an art. It is an absolute art. So the guy that's in the corner of the bar playing, the Billy Joel song and the Green Day song and everything else, you've got to practice that. And coming into yesterday, I hadn't practiced as much as I should have. Like, that's the part that I didn't craft it enough. It's funny, I had a 10-minute set ready to go for comedy that I've been crafting for years, and then I thought I would just print out a couple of songs and go out there and do it. And the first half hour was awful. It was awful. I was finding my way. I wouldn't have called that entertaining. There were some people that kind of left. I don't blame them. But I also recognized that I need to get through it. So the first hour and a half was just me just tanking. And by the way, if you've ever gone through that, if you've ever gone through something where you're doing like a public speaking thing, or you're in the middle of 10 other people and you're their leader, you're the one that's supposed to whatever, you really figure out who the hell you are. Because you're like, okay, are you going to die on the vine here? I could have walked off at the hour and a half and just said to the owner, keep the money, I'll see you later. It wasn't about the money, but I had an out. I could have said I'm not feeling well, because I wasn't. I could have said I was underprepared, which was the truth. I could have said, I could have said a lot of things, but I didn't quit. And I definitely got hit with I had some health stuff. I got hit with some sugar stuff. I dropped out, and I was dehydrated. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. Of course, the wind's blowing, my stuff's getting knocked over. It's just, ugh. It's like an hour of my life I wish I could get back, and I would do it differently. But what I would do is I would back it up another 3 days, and I would have practiced differently. I would have had my first 3 songs down. I didn't even know what to play when I first got there. Big problem. It's like anything, right? So I go in the back and I rest, and it was one of those things where sometimes you just got to process. And that's what I did. I processed. I mean, those people were there. A lot of people showed up because I had announced it, and they were showing up. Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I mean, it was one of those things. I was super overstressed, and my body's reaction ever since I had that infection at the beginning of the year, my body just hasn't fully recovered in the idea that I have to pace myself. I have to plan these things out. So can I do it? Sure I can. I can always do it. I just have to approach it differently. I just can't do the 12 things in a day. I've got to focus in on 1 or 2. And so I go in the back and I chug a big thing of water. It was kind of like, how like when you have a bad day and you take a shower and you're like, okay, just, we'll do that and we'll be good. And you can kind of hear it in my voice right now, like I'm a little hoarse, because in the second half of the set, this is after I had a conversation with myself. I knew I needed to prove that I could do it. And it wasn't about how good are you. Like, this is this is a fun venue. We're outside. We're having a good time, and I wasn't going to quit. So I said to myself, okay, I'm taking a break. I've got a little over an hour left when I go back out there. You're not feeling well. What's your strategy? So my idea was, okay, what songs do I really want to make sure I can play? Because each song takes, 7 to 10 minutes by the time I get set up and start playing it and, do the jam to it and whatever. because that's how I designed it. I wanted to make sure I could find some grooves and kind of hit it. And it came out, guns a-blazing, and I completely owned it. I owned it, good, bad, or indifferent. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I should have started with this song. You know, it's not necessarily the most popular song. It's not one that people are like, oh my gosh, I hope he plays it. I hope somebody plays it whenever they go out. But it's a super comfortable song for me. And it was a song called Through the Glass. And by Stone Sour. And after I got done with that song, even the people that had come to see me that knew I was struggling sat there and went, okay, we're going to be okay. And that was the best feeling ever. And it's funny, I had a group last week, and the first reading was just awful. Apparently, this is the way the astrological weather. By the way, we're going to take a quick look at astrology here in a second, but because there's some stuff you guys got to know, and then we'll break out the cards. Don't worry. Did you think that the cards aren't there? Hold on a second. The cards are right there. Don't you worry. We'll be back in a second. But we're going to talk about some astrology here in a second. Give me a minute. So I'm proud that I did it for two reasons. One, I tell people often that if they're complacent with where they're at, they're never going to grow. Right? Yeah, that internal dialogue, Lenny. I love it. Hey, Jeanette, how are you? Francesca, I am good. And thank you for your note. By the way, I finally got my mail. Thank you. You got it, Francesca. Hey, you're safe in Sedona. Look at Joanne go. That's awesome. So in a moment of crippling doubt, hey, Carolyn, how are you? Carolyn knows the story. In a moment of crippling doubt, I could have quit. And listen, in the top 10 of all like live musical performances, even the second half was not stellar. That's not what it was about. None of that was what that day was about yesterday. It was about me saying, no, I'm going to do this. It was about me saying, I had to prove to myself that I could still challenge myself, because at 51 years old, I know some of you are like, he's just a baby. But still, I feel my 51. And I needed to know I was still alive. Because I'm surrounded by things of passing and things of tragedy and things of whatever. And we've got to remember that we're still a light, no matter how tired we are, no matter how exhausted we are, in every job that you're in every relationship that you have, in every situation where you don't think it's it's going to go your way, or whatever the case may be. I met some incredible people over the last 2 months. This summer has just been fantastic. And I am proud, thank you. And there was something very cathartic. Oh, and by the way, I also played 2 brand new songs that I wrote. One of them, I actually played twice, because the first time I played it, I didn't go, well, it was a little bit like, yeah, it kind of sounded like Stewart. But I proved to myself, if I didn't play as much guitar as I have, and those of you that have, you can find them out on iTunes and YouTube, I think. I have some guitar work out there. I have some piano work out there. But this was the first time I sat in front of a live audience, pulled out songs, and started playing them. And I fell back into that. I actually played one of my meditation, tracks, and I just played a variation of it for 15 minutes on the first set, because I was locked up. I didn't have a plan. And I'm very much believing that Spirit's just going to show me what to do. Every single time. right? Every single time. I just put it out there. Every single time I show up to a show, I'm like, oh yeah, Spirit's here, right? And you know, the set that I had, the show that I had on Thursday, it was at a community center. It was great. Very low key, very kind of like, hey, how you doing? The director there is doing a great job, supporting the shit out of her. And, you know, she came out. She's like, hey, I've known Brandon for years. He did a show here a couple of years ago. He's been supporting us through the pandemic. He helped us, you know, do a fundraiser to build this set, whatever, all that other stuff. And the first reading, I tanked so bad. Like, I'm all over the place. I mean, what eventually happened was I was actually reading pieces of the room, but I hadn't calibrated myself, so I like wasn't as prepared as I should have been. And I realize this, and you know, there's no days off. That's what I've really realized. Like, there's no days off. So even when I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna chill with my friends, I'm like, oh, I gotta, you know, and play some music, and hey, we'll, you know, have a couple of beers, sit on the back porch, and kind of whatever. You still gotta have a game plan. Because when you're working with Spirit, they are going to show you what to do. And it's funny that you, somebody put it out there. So I said to myself, you know, if you don't have that internal dialogue, it means you're a serial killer. You know, the reason why, if you are able to ask yourself, am I crazy? It means that you're not. If you're like, I would never ask myself, am I crazy? That means you're nuts. Just to let you know. Flippin' nuts. Oh, look at that. Sweden showing up. Fantastic. Cobalt skill. You're on the website. Good deal. So, I got through it. I proved to myself that I can do it. So, I'm still learning how to balance breathless, unadulterated trust in Spirit along with preparation and internal dialogue. It's a thing. It is absolutely a thing. Hey, Kim, how are you? Yes, really, Patty. Rita, good to see you. Kathy, how are you? Chris, welcome. Magical Mermaid, the best name on the internet. Lenny, look at what I can do. Yeah, that's cool. You know, it's what we do. Julie, good to see you. To no one in particular, if I can be there, you'll be fine eventually. Yeah, you know what? It's one of those things. Yeah, Lenny, if you don't ask, am I crazy? It means that you are, right? But if you do ask yourself, am I crazy? It means you're not. It's just one of those things. So, all right, enough about me. The rest of you, hey, look at that. Matt showing up too. Mindful Motivator. Go follow his stuff too. All right, guys, listen. I'm gonna add this in. We're going to dive into this just a little bit here. Oh, where's my, how do I want to do this? I want to do it like this, or do I want to do it like, ooh, look at that. Yeah, I want to make my sucker big. So listen, let's talk a little astrology here for a minute. And by the way, thank you all for the notes. Listen, Penny and I are going to be doing some stuff here in the not too distant future, I'm sure. I'm trusting Spirit. We're going to have it happen. Thank you, everybody that keeps requesting it. Love you guys. I'm going to be doing some different stuff with my podcast. Certainly want Penny involved, that sort of thing. Hey, Laura, how are you? All right, so let's take a look at this astrology right now. This is a snapshot right before I got on, probably about a half hour ago. Right now, the sun is sitting in the 7th house in Leo, but it's this 20-degree angle. And by the way, if you've been watching any of the daily, let me break down all the other astrology you've been looking at. The 20 degrees Leo is a very cool, calculated taskmaster. That's why everybody's astrology are like, hey, it's kind of a chill day. Hey, it's a figure it out day. It's a very cerebral day, right? You're also in conjunct with Vesta, which is the learner. So you got that going on. You're coming into the conjunct because we're moving backwards in Mercury in retrograde. Now, Mercury just backed over Venus. Actually, they came really close and then they backed away. So you've been really kind of like backing up kind of that emotional value about who you are, about what your loves and your passions are. For me, it was playing music in front of people because I should have done it 3 freaking decades ago. Instead, I sat and I hid behind a drum set, just like all my couple of pounds. You know what I'm talking about, ladies. So Instead, I'm sitting right out front, right? So this dialogue right here, just in this upper right-hand corner in the 7th house, is kind of an easier way to go. I like how you said that, Magical Mermaid. It's a softer retrograde. So when we were talking about like, oh, this retrograde is not the boss. This one is not the one, right? This is not the one that's going to rip you. Because even though it was in Virgo, it's, and it moves back into Leo and all that other stuff. That's how planets roll. It is a classic 3-weeker. And it is, it lasts for 23 days, 24 days. And it's going to move back into Leo to about the 20-degree mark. And guess what? We're going to be like totally chill about it. Actually, I don't even think it goes back that far. I think it goes to about 10. Or no, I think it does go to a 20. Yeah, that would make sense. It goes back 10 degrees. It's how math works, Brandon, because there's 30 degrees in every single one of the side angle side. The only reason why I went to summer school. So that is kind of like an easier pace setter, right? And the reason why I wanted to talk about it was to let you guys know that you are kind of feeling like you could also be kind of driven right now. And let's bring in Mars and Jupiter here in the 4th house. And again, this is going to change every 2 hours anyways. This just happened to be the snapshot with Aquarius rising. So during this time, this is a great time to initiate things because you've got Pluto coming up on the rising sign. So I am doing this YouTube live video for all you people. See how that works, everybody? Oh my gosh, I love astrology. So let's talk about Jupiter and Mars kind of doing the dry hump here in the 4th house. So Jupiter, of course, is about expansion. It's about learning. It's about go-getting. It's about saying, one scotch, one bourbon, one beer. Like, you're just like, I'm going to keep going until nobody stops me. Mars is about the actionable items. Sometimes it's actionable out of necessity. Sometimes it's the actionable things out of planning. Sometimes it's a knee-jerk reaction. There's a lot of reasons why Mars kind of, goes, okay, let's do this. With Jupiter, it's kind of more of a, I'm going to do something I haven't done before. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Mwah. Yes, I just blamed astrology for my first set tank. Anyways, it could also force you into the necessity of doing something. Or it could be I've been thinking about doing this for a long time, so I'm going to go do this. Whatever this is, right? Whether you're skydiving, whether you're doing paddleboard, whether you're jumping out of an airplane, whether you're making your own cuisine, whether you're going to see a city you hadn't seen before, doesn't matter. This is an activator. Is generally positive, but you could go off on somebody. You could always go off on somebody. You've got the trine energy of Pluto kind of driving into Jupiter here. You've got this trine right here going. You got 2 air signs talking to one another, right? So they're kind of like being like, hey, you guys want to do this? And it's a wide trine. It's not direct. It's actually super easy. Like, as in, like, yeah, if you want to do it, you can do it. But it's not mission critical stuff, right? So it's a very kind of exciting presentation of things, if you will. So if you want to pick up the paintbrush, you want to do some writing, you want to do some acting, you want to do anything in a creative pursuit, this is a good time. You want to get your shit together, also a good time. Because you're going to do it in a very kind of cerebral way, because you're going to say, you know what, this just makes sense. It does not, if I needed to live on playing out like that, I would need to build my life a little bit differently. I would need to practice a few hours a day. I would need to get 2 or 3 songs down a week, and then I would take my wares out there and go, which I'm not too far from. I'm not, but as a living, as a career, I couldn't do it. And listen, my hat off to those that do it. I've known a lot of people in music around here. There are some incredible acts in upstate New York, and I'm sure locally wherever you guys are, the ones that you always see out there all the time, and you're like, oh gosh, I've always seen, they're playing out again. Go fucking see them. Even if it's not your brand of music. Now, I'm not saying, don't go see Slayer if you're not into hardcore metal. But if it's a local band and they're playing, you got a half a shot at knowing half of their songs, because most bar bands are going to play songs, Jenny, who can I turn to, right? You're gonna hear songs that you know. You're going to do toe tapping. You're going to support local businesses. You're going to support local musicians, and you're going to get out there. Right now, there are people that are living on that stuff. I see a chart like this, and I tell them to keep going, and they're like, okay, I won't quit yet. I'm just letting you know. Hey, Debbie, how are you? So support that music. So go do those things. So if one of those things that you haven't done in a while is go out and hear live music, and I'm not talking about the big shows. Listen, those big bands, they're pros. They put on a great show. Sammy Hagar, one of the best concerts I've seen. Right? Eddie's Son, fantastic. I miss King's X locally, but I'll catch him. Don't worry. I'm going to find him. Might involve a plane ticket, but I'm going to go see him. Oh, I can't believe it that I missed him. I was too. They announced it in July, actually at the end of June, that they were coming to upstate New York, and I was already booked. Dang it. Yeah, nostalgia is another one of those things that are going to come out of these placements too. You know, Saturn is sitting in Pisces still. You know, we're doing our retro love right now. You know, that's why it takes so long for these outer planets to go. They go retrograde for 6 months and they go forward for 7.5. It's bonkers, right? So you're going to have the sun going in opposition to Saturn as you get into, you know, basically September 5th or so. You're going to be in opposition to it. Hey, Lynn, how are you? Hey, Lynn, I played out live yesterday for the first time out front with my guitar. You would have loved it. I've got a video to send you. There's the last thing on this astrology. Go do it. Just shut up and do it. This is a good, kind energy for you to do the thing that you think you need to go back and do. Mercury's in retrograde. It's one of the positive indicators of this kind of placement. It's one of those things where you go, okay, you know what? You got to go do it. I know, right? We indeed. And you only got so many days, guys. I got bad news for everybody. Nobody's going to make it. Not one of us. And if you think you are, name me one person in your family that's over the age of 100. Okay, then how about 125? Then how about 150? You can't. That was weird. I hope I'm still alive. I appear to be. There we go. For whatever reason, my internet company does a cycle thing before 8 o'clock every night. And I've noticed it. But I'm back live, I know. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Matt. So, that was kind of weird. Thank you. Thank you guys for letting me know. But I totally froze on my end. But we only have so many days. Period. End of conversation. I don't know how many you have. I don't know how many I have. And if you're sitting around thinking about doing stuff all the time, do you know how many playlists I have on various phones and iPods and Nanos and whatever of sets that I just wanted to do acoustically? And by the way, I only got through about 13 songs. 2 of them were my own, so I can make that shit up any way I want to. I feel alive because of it. I don't care if I have 10 days or 1,000 days or 10,000 days. I'm feeling good about that now because I'm filling all of them the right way. Right? Yeah, songs to learn a zillion. And I have to tell you, talk about the chops. Like, in the middle of one of the songs, all of the wind blew. Knocked it over on its side, and I just picked right up from where the song was because I've been singing it since I was literally 11 years old. And not just singing it, I mean singing it. Right? So, understand. Don't waste your time always searching for those wasted years. Yeah, thanks, Monica. I was singing everything in the key of B. You're welcome. All right, guys, you guys want some cards? How'd you guys let me go a half hour on this? So here's your astrology. Jupiter and Mars are together. Do shit you've never done before. You've always been thinking about. Go do it. Go replenish yourself. Mercury's in retrograde. What did you miss? What do you have to do? What do you have to go see? Do you have to go see Sedona? Do you have to go see a sunset on a beach somewhere? Do you need to go talk to that person that you were supposed to talk to forever again? I'll tell you what. You know, when I go split screen, that's a good day, everybody. How about we do it this way? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Am I a little tight on this? I think so. All right, guys, as you know, we're going to do 3-card readings. This is the Rider-Waite Tarot. Wait, hold on a second. I'm going to go the moon. Let's see how good I'm doing here. The moon. Oh, judgment card. I was 2 away, everybody. How about if I go with the 8 of Cups? 2 of Swords. Jesus, I'm the worst medium ever. Are you sure you want to still stay tuned in? Come on, guys, let's have fun. First of all, let me turn the cards like this. Let me take this one right over here for your audit pleasure. And then I'm going to put this one right over here. And then we're going to go like this. We'll put them right there. We'll put them right there. We'll put them from left to right. I'm doing this so that I can get everything together. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Tracy. How are you? Chris. Yeah. Hey, listen. Thanks for asking there, kiddo. There we go. Chris, thanks for joining us. How about 3 cards right out of the gate? And by the way, I'm going to do this so then you guys don't think I'm kind of like, oh, you said the moon card. Let's see how far down the moon card is going to be. Chris, right out of the gate, 4 of Swords. Right now you're like, I don't want to read it anymore. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh, Jeanette, so generous. Thank you. Hey, Donna, I see your message. We'll get through this here. Debbie, yes. LOL. Thank you. Now I get it. You got it, Matt. Here we go. All right, Chris. So right out of the gate, we're talking about timing. This is a Gemini card. This is actually talking to your better senses in terms of like good things come to those who wait. So then you can take charge. Why don't I just give you kind of the Mars Jupiter card together? Thank you very much. Good night. And then the 10 of Pentacles. That's a bunch of abundance. Look at how tight this card shot is. Jeez Louise. All right, here we go. Oh, this is about balance. So what you're going to do during your time away here, the things that you're going to kind of get better. What did I just talk about? Practice? We talk about practice, man. Thank you, Iverson. King of Wands. Hey, look at this. The sun comes out. My regards. Here comes the sun. By the way, it was on the list. Here comes the sun was definitely on the list. I just didn't get to it. So the sun comes out with the King of Wands here, Chris. Go do it. And then the 8 of Cups. Did I say 8 of Cups? I said 8 of Cups. Here it is. Boom. Here you go. 8 of Cups along with this. This is about cutting your losses. This is about you just saying, you know what, fucking I'm happy. I don't need the wing digit that goes in the nose that, talks to your earpiece that controls your shoe pumps. You don't need everything, right? This is about you going, you know what? I'm going to balance myself before my time. I'm going to go get what I need to. I'm not going to be held up on the loss. Maybe you got to let some stuff go away, but you've actually got everything you need. How about, I'm going to cut the deck here on this one. What are we looking at here? This is the, hi, Aretha. You are homesick for the stars. You ain't local, buddy. Chris, do you feel like you're a little out of place here on Earth? It's a little tough getting used to the body, isn't it? Speaking from personal experience. You're like, I feel like this over there, and I got this over there. Hey, what's this? That feels okay. And then all of a sudden, am I peaking? How is that possible? Probably because I was shouting into it. Well, here's the good news. I think I already fixed it. So thank you. Thanks for the heads up on that one, Lynn. So here's the cool part. Maybe that's going to help. Oh, that might get a cancellation. Then I'm going to turn it down here. I turned down my mic a little bit so I can still be my outwardly gregarious self. Hopefully that'll work out. Thank you for the heads up on that. Okay, thanks, Lynn. By the way, we have tech crew here. Boom, here we go. Love it. Eileen, I see you there. Matt, hang in there. So, Chris, here we go. Here's what we're doing. Sometimes you don't really feel like you're part of things, and that's okay. So, you figured it out by figuring out this human element, quite frankly. You realize we worship the sun, that's how we roll. And then you have abundance. You're being told, "Hey, let some shit go." Sometimes you got to I can't believe I'm saying this after my introductory speech, but maybe you got to let some of the dreams that don't happen by the time you're 51, either you got to say you got to make it happen or you don't. I'm 51 feet up. Sometimes I wish I was 6 feet under. I'll just sing my own songs all the way through. By the way, it's a great song, and I wish I'd spent more time explaining some of the songs that I've written. But it's a song about realizing that when you hit a certain age, that like, how did I get here? Why did I get here? What's the purpose? And then you start to realize that you have to let things go and focus in on the things that you are going to be good at. I am never going to open for Van Halen. I will never be in a band that'll open for Van Halen for two reasons. One, Eddie's dead. I miss him every day. Number two, I'm not on that path. I haven't been on that path in 20 years. Right? So, Chris, maybe that's what this read was about. Maybe this is you tweaking it and realizing what you got in the meantime. I love it. Chris, thanks so much for tuning in here. I'm just going to put you on the boom there. Mr. Motivator, Matt. Here we go. How about the Hierophant coming out of the gate? Oh, I have a feeling you're going to like this one. I have a feeling I like where we're going with this one. This is about oh, come on. This is you walking away from corporate. This is you saying, I got everything that I need. And this is you making a choice with what you're going to spend your time on. Could I get an amen from the preacher? The Hierophant represents the change that you had within you, which, by the way, you are seeing this time and time again. I'm going to break this down. This is a super long topic, but I'm going to break it down in 30 seconds. You have our generational changes that are happening right now. That is why you're seeing these, 18, 20-year-old kids go, I don't know what my plumbing should be, because they're confused because they don't go by plumbing anymore. They go by feel, they go by emotion, right? Then on the flip side of that, then we have the generation, the 40 pluses that are sitting around looking, going, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? How am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I'm not helping the world. I'm not helping society. I'm not helping whatever. And then something clicks in you. That's the change. That's the 5. That's the Hierophant. You got back to your center, your compass. Now you're going like, okay, can I have one of these? Can I have one big shiny? And now you got to make a choice. Let's see what kind of choices we got to make here, Maddie. Oh, there we go. So you did the work. You did the work to do the changes. The 7 of Pentacles talks about those reaping what you sow in a way, right? Not quite the 8. It's not ready to pick yet. So you were still growing it. So all those experiences were about you kind of like pulling through. Notice how she's got like 1 in the basket. She got none in the basket. I always thought she had 1. She's got nothing in the basket yet. So you're not plucking it. So there's a little more experience going on here. And then, the 8 of Pentacles comes out. Oh, dude. Chicken dinner. And I really did shuffle these cards. But if the 9 of Pentacles comes out, I'm going to have to call a recount. I'm going to check the hanging Chad. The 8 of Pentacles, along with the Ace of Pentacles, is about you just doing the work, getting yourself there. Just keep going. The grind is there, dude. The grind is there. I hope you're enjoying this, Matt. Hey, Paula, how are you? And then, welcome to the new age. To the new age. Look at this. The Lover's card along with the 6. Now, listen, if you were like, hey, give me some relationship advice, could you tell me what I'm going to be doing here with my such and such? I'm going to say, pay for the dinner because you're getting some. That's what I'd be saying with this. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about career because I know you. By the way, if you don't get any, it's not Barry White's fault because holy Jesus are the cards stacked here. The 6 of Cups are about that new adventure. The Lover's card is about the choice. You're going to love whatever choice you have, but you got to figure out which one. Maybe this is the theme tonight. Maybe this is the whole idea of like shaking and tumbling stuff out, which, by the way, keep Syria and Turkey right on the border. Major earthquake again, 5.6, I think it was, 5.4, along with the 8 magnitude that they had last year. Is starting to turn into rubble. Einstein said we'd use rocks on the other side. Speaking of which, Matt, let's take a look at your inspiration card. Oh, the void. Stop and embrace and go into the great cosmic womb. Sounds like a meditation, doesn't it? Matt, I listen. I love my work. I hope you do too. This is about you kind of stepping into your own power. It's you recognizing the changes that you needed. And it's you kicking ass and taking names. And by the way, the void also means being able to stand on your own. A lot of people don't realize. One of the things that I realized when my first set was an absolute dog, like it was fucking awful. Like pretty, if I wasn't pretty good at doing guitar work, and I just sat there and I just wailed on the guitar, I couldn't sing, I couldn't think. My body was in shock. Sorry, I am just owning it. But when I regrouped and I came back out, that's the Six of Cups, right? So maybe that's what the earth is doing too. Maybe the earth is going like, I didn't like the first act. Right? Shake it like an Etch-a-Sketch. Oh, I need an Etch-a-Sketch for the back here, don't I? That would be kind of fun. Matt, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. I see your words. Thank you so much. Chris, thank you for thanking me. Thank you for that. Yeah, Caitlin, here we go. And Donna, don't go far, please. Hey, Caitlin, how are you? Love to get 3. Well, it's really 6 into 7 here. All right, Caitlin, here we go. Ooh, Page of Wands. Is this somebody new? Could also represent new ideas, new way of thinking, new way to approach things. FOMO card, the 4 of Cups comes out. This one kind of talks a little bit about you being like, what did I miss? Why does everybody else have something shiny? And then you get the King of Swords. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. It's just as girls. Let's talk. This is about you being like, you're trying to match things up that don't actually fit. I'll explain. The Page of Wands is actually very passionate. It's kind of a new idea. It's a new kind of like a aha. I'll give you a scenario. You get asked to go and do a paint and sip. All of you do a paint and sip. And everybody talks about how great it was and how it was whatever. But you're like, this kind of sucks. And then in a moment of brutal honesty, you're like, everybody's like, oh my God, that was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. And then you go, yeah, that kind of blew. Like, I'm just going to be honest. Like, that was really, you guys, it was supposed to be a cardinal. You got a big giant red blob on the side with like a retarded beak that looks like we're under attack. You look like a gunshot wound. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And then you're going to tell me it's great? You're not an artist. You're just drunk. We didn't have to buy the paint to do this, guys. Like, can we do something else? I'm sorry, was that my moment of honesty? But you go through this and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to like this. I want to like this. I want to go do this. But you know what, Caitlin? Here we go. There's gold in them there hills. We got the Ace of Cups coming out. This is about an abundance thing. So this is showing you something. What is it showing you? Oh, this is about men. Are you kidding me? Overshooting. I like that, Magic Mermaid. Caitlin, this is about you kind of being like, I want the boy. I want the whatever. Oh, yeah. There we go. And you know what? We're going to honor this all the way through. This might be something that you have to do because I almost want to say your hand is being forced, but it's almost like, all right, I'm going to apply this to relationships. You feel like you need to be in a relationship, even though you don't want to be in a relationship right now. These cards are almost too good. You want me to put the super positive spin on it? No more being left out in the cold. You finally got the Ace of Wands you've been looking for, lady. Thank you very much. Good night. Mwah. But what's the emotional thing? You burned out? Oh, are you looking at love practically now? You're not just looking for somebody to pay rent anymore, are you? Maybe love has passed you by. Maybe you're just like, I want to kind of be able to do this. And then in comes a strong, handsome person that might not be exactly what you would have looked for. Because a Page of Wands is actually more of an effeminate cause of action. Like you want the marble man. You want the marble man, and then the guy wakes up one day, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm into yoga." You know, they may say, if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, making love after midnight, you know, I need to meet you by tomorrow noon. You know the song. You might not appreciate them at first, but they're going to help you land on your feet because practical deals are a practical way, man. Right? What's a Stargate talking about? Ooh, hello, blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. We're talking, we're talking, we're talking true flame here. Could it be twin flame? I only see one, but that's really what happens in a twin flame. Two become one. It's the way it works, the way we roll. Oh, man, I am back in the saddle, am I not? So listen, Caitlin, good luck with that. I'm not really sure how that resonates, and no, I'm not interested in getting your glass from the paint and sip because that cardinal really doesn't look like a cardinal. Yes, the energy is weird. And Adrian, you can actually back up a little bit into the video. I'd stay live now because I'm doing the readings, but I talked a little bit about the astrology, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remove this for half a second and then let this kind of get back in. Oh, yeah, here we go. So who we got up next? Who we got up next? I want to get to some people. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go, Jeanette. I'm gonna go up to here. Jeanette, thanks so much for tuning in and jumping in. I'm gonna go up a little bit more. Thank you for contributing. It's amazing how much that stuff adds up as you go along. So I appreciate it when you do that. So I'm gonna say the hello. I'm gonna keep in confidence the donation there. Thanks so much. I don't ask for a whole lot. I don't ask for it really, but boy, oh boy. Well, Caitlin, let it rip. Jeanette, this one's for you. Here we go. Oh, Knight of Pentacles. Oh, I should probably add in the page again, huh? There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, back into focus. Hello, ladies. The Knight of Pentacles. Two of Wands. And guess what? Woo-hoo, new adventure. Jeanette, I love this. I love this for you. Because what this is talking about is a strong opportunity, definitely some choices. Maybe you're saying goodbye to some things. Maybe you're saying, thank you for coming, everybody. I am out. Peace out. Hey, Ken, I see you there. I appreciate you too, Jeanette. So listen, let's keep going here. The Knight of Pentacles. Let's talk about, Knight of Pentacles met with the Knight of Cups. Hello, lover. Holy Toledo. That combo platter right there is kind of like, okay. First of all, it is about the knights are actually in line with Mars. So here we go. Watch this be a go big or go home. The Fool card is actually the Uranus card because it's kind of a new adventure. It's kind of taking a new direction. Didn't see where this was coming from. And here we are. Two of I can't wait. You get I want you guys to get this one on a still shot. You ready? All right. Knight, King of Wands here. So you go Knight, Knight, King. What is this? Like a chess match? The King of Wands shows up on the Two of Swords, which means you might go for the stature. You know what I'm saying here? This is about deciding for yourself how your action is going to go. I love this. Let's talk about the direction that you're going to go in. Whoa, are you a peacemaker? I think you are. The Five of Swords is a very interesting card. It's a very interesting card because in traditional tarot, it is about leaving behind what you cannot deal with anymore. It is leaving behind, you can only carry so many swords. The Seven of Swords figured this out too. But the Five of Swords is actually about saying, you know what, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. The Fool card is about going in a different direction, a different energy. This is about rebuilding in a different way, everybody. Whew. By the way, in case you were wondering, the United States is actually going through that right now. We are rebuilding in another way, and you did not see this coming. Oh, yeah. Little 38 special here. Loosen your grip. Hang on loosely, but don't let it go. You could cling too tight, and then you'll just lose control. You don't want this to become who you are in things. You want it to be something where you just go, you know what? I can't want this more than you do. Right? Like, I'm coming into it with a good intention. I'm coming into it from a place of love. I'm coming into it from like, hey, I'm in charge here. I'll show you. Like, come on, kids. Split the brownie in half if there's only one left. And then you got the Fool card, and then you got the Five of Swords, which is really talking about going, you know what? You know what? We're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to do it this way anymore. You guys want to fight? You guys want to argue? Go ahead. Have a good time. Go ahead. I don't really give a shit. Beat the crap out of each other. By the way, you haven't lived until you've seen the younger of the two brothers beat the older brother. You just haven't lived. My 17-year-old got his ass handed to him. The 12-year-old outweighs him by good 20 pounds. And he's just built like a brick shit house. Right? Well, the 17-year-old has gotten really good at this. The 12-year-old has gotten really good at this. It's awesome. It's awesome. And listen, I don't condone violence. But we have a little they have a little going on right now. And guess what? Just let him go, man. Let him go. Bam. So loosening the grip is just kind of being like, this is going to happen one way or the other for them. Do you put your whole self into it or do you step back? I really like this reading for you. I think this is about recognizing that the changes that'll come for this are going to be from your approach. Whenever you see the Fool card, a lot of people are like, the Fool card, well, then you're the fool. Sometimes it means the fool, but quite often it means you don't know what the other side is. Oh my gosh, there you go, Jeanette. It's just validation. It's what we do here. Jeanette mentioned on YouTube that almost verbatim had that exact same thought on family members. Yeah, that's where you're at. There's the advice right there. Bam. Let them do whatever it is they're going to do. Right? Now, I mean, there's free will. You don't want people to set themselves up for disaster. But let them, listen, I don't want to see the 17-year-old get hurt. What if he's a little sore in the morning because the 12-year-old drops an atomic knee on him? Oh, kind of the way it goes. Hey, Colleen, how are you? So, Jeanette, thanks so much. Thanks for contributing. I appreciate you too. There we go. How's your energies working? I don't know, Kathy. How are your energies working right now? Let's roll them out here. Oh my gosh, Two of Pentacles. Thank you very much. Seven of Wands. I'm going to tell you how this is. You've been in practical mode. Oh, yeah. Celebrate good times. Come on. All right. So, from left to right, we're talking about a reunification. We're talking about a synchronization. We're also talking about a practical evaluation of what you give and receive to one another. Right? You're welcome, Jeanette. And then you have this higher ground, the Seven of Wands. Like, it's battle tested, man. You've been there, done that. You're like, okay, we've kind of gone through this, and now you're reaping what you have sown through this. By the way, this is also a boundary card. A lot of people think it's about a fight. Sometimes it's about a boundary. By the way, the most powerful, most important sentence in the English language, the most powerful thing you can ever say to somebody. I want you guys to write this down. You ready? No. It is the most complete sentence you can ever say to somebody. So this is kind of like a, hey, we're kind of working out a little bit, and I'm kind of doing a little balancing act, and here you go. And then you show up, Kathy, and you go, no. And then all of a sudden it leads to happiness. Boundaries are an accelerant. Kind of cool. By the way, you may be living the dream life here. You may be like, hey, I found the person of my dreams, found the situation I've loved forever. And then you've just got this anxiety, like, why am I the adult? Why am I the one that has to draw all the boundaries and tell you, no, don't stick your fingers in the socket? Anybody else go to school with somebody that stuck the tongs or whatever in the outlet in chemistry class in high school? Am I the only one? Yeah. I can't be the only one. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you what this is. First of all, I'm going to mix up these cards a little more. But second of all, the Nine of Swords here, we got to honor it because it's the way it rolled out. But the Nine of Swords there, that's about your anxiety. Do you want to be happy? Legit question. Did it I mean, Kath, come on, kid. You're old school around here now, right? Listen, the 9-volt battery on the tongue is so freaking kindergarten. Like, I used to do that before I played drums, you know what I'm saying? Rah! There we go. Come on, Detroit Rock City, let's go. But Kathy, this is about you. I think you're nervous about success. Maybe that's why you haven't drawn some of the boundaries. I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting. Yeah, you're changing some stuff. You're changing some stuff. Kathy, you've been a contributor here to the channel for a while. I think I think this is a challenge for you to grow. And by the way, Mars and Jupiter together right now, boom, bada bing, bada boom. That's you going, I'm going to go do this somewhere else. I'm going to do this in a different way. Forget about it. By the way, build those boundaries, not because you don't love them, but because you do. Boundaries they're an accelerant, right? You're in a dream situation for all practical purposes. You're like, this is great, except I have to be the adult. That's a thing. Thank you, Kathy, for the validation. No, Donna, I did not forget about you. We're gonna hit a few more of these though. Hey, Donna, you got to stick around. I'm gonna tell you why. You're asking me to connect with somebody that just passed. I'm doing my work right now. Hang in there, kiddo. Just hang in there. Got it? You follow me yet? You will. Oh, Tracy, how are you? That looks like a picture up along the eclipse. And by the way, have you guys noticed that the eclipses and the sheer number of earthquakes? Okay, Donna, thank you. Sheer number of earthquakes are happening right now. Tracy, look at this. Look at this. The Eight of Wands comes out. Oh, quick and fast moving. Oh, hope it's not too many to handle there. What is this? What could we be talking about? Oh, love. True. We are gathered here today. Wedge. She's like, I hate you, B. All right, well. I'm just a messenger here on this one there, Trace. All right. Hold on a second. So you got the Eight of Wands. This is somebody coming in from out of nowhere. And by the way, congratulations, the Ace of Wands. I mean, it just kind of speaks for itself, but it's about an engaging connection. It is about something about going, you are manifesting it, right? You are manifesting the snot out of this. And here it comes. And guess what? The Knight of Cups, which is kind of talking about love, love, love. Here we are. Here we are. We're talking a good talk here, aren't we? Listen, you can't wish for a sunny day and be upset when it's 98 degrees. And let me tell you something. The Ace of Wands is definitely a little manifesting. I see her work. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's nothing but us girls here. The Eight of Wands, oh yeah, along with the Ten of Wands. You think that people that are moving too quick are just a little bit too kind of slick willy-ish for you. Calm down. Calm down. You're like, oh, Jesus, I don't want to deal with this again. Can't wish for a sunny day. And guess what? And then you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm judgment time. Well, this is I'm going to tell you why I love this card. You're like, judgment card. Like, oh yeah, who's going to judge me? The neighbors out here in the middle of nowhere? Yes. But the judgment card right here in the center is about 2.0. This is about new Tracy. That's what this is. Come on, Trace. And then the Knight of Cups and then Temperance. I'm going to tell you exactly where this is going with this. You ready? It's about a different style of relationship. This is more about kind of give or take where you don't feel like you're doing everything or you're just, somebody's taking advantage of, or I don't really, it's like, yeah, I kind of see him, but I don't really like him. Whatever. You're overcoming all of of it in one reading. Holy Toledo. It's good work. And by the way, the Ten of Wands here is really interesting to me because it's almost like you don't want to be burdened by this. It's almost like you're just like, oh, Jesus, for the love of Pete B. I don't want to deal with this, right? Yeah, she's doing the face palm thing. She's like, there it is. Love my work. This one's called Trust the Timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out, and trust it to do what it's supposed to do. This could be, I mean, have you ever been asked on a date and then you're like, I'm legitimately washing my hair that night? I mean, it happens to me all the time. But you're like, oh my gosh, I got to wash my hair. Or you have something legitimate. You're like, I don't really want to do this. And you're like, the timing's not right. Maybe you'll understand. We'll get together another time or whatever. Right. Or you get an opportunity, you get a job, you get a whatever. Right. What an interesting dialogue with yourself here to actually be in balance with another person. Just just let it. Just let the universe do its work. But pay attention because it's coming in hot. Whether you like it or not, you put it out there. The Donna countdown has begun. Donna, I got 2 more to do and I'm coming to you. How about that? Trace, thanks so much for watching and all you do for everybody around here. And Carol, yes. My solar return is coming up this month. Happy birthday to you. Copyright infringement no more. Happy birthday. You're welcome, Trace, as always. Will the cards give me a focus this coming cycle? Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at here. How about reaping what you sow, Carol? So this is about you working on yourself. This has probably been a year of Carol figuring it out. Whew. Who'd you lose? What'd you let go of? The Tower card makes an appearance. Listen, Carol, you asked for a reading. I got to do what I got to do. But here's the good thing about the Tower here. It's in the middle, right? So you might be in the middle of it right now. You might be kind of like, okay, this is the change I got to make. But every little thing is going to be all right now. I feel horrible for all these people with the earthquakes. I hope they're all safe. But what happens? The earth turns up. You start new things again. This is about a new cycle. This is about, and by the way, the Tower rips the cycle over. Goes like, whoop. It's what farmers do, right? Totally, totally, totally. Dude. Carol, you are in. Nobody's going to bring up solar returns again. Because here's the death card on top of this 8 of wands or 8 of pentacles. Or the 7 of pentacles rather. This is about you changing and realizing what you need to let go. You cut off the dead ends. You listen, if it didn't feed you, you didn't ask for it to come to dinner. If it didn't enlighten you, you didn't ask it to teach you. There's nothing wrong with promoting this. Nothing wrong with promoting this. You lost your mother last month. I stand behind everything I'm saying here. And by the way, this combo platter right here is about lessons. 100% about lessons. This is about you growing it and going, what am I? You're probably chasing after the wrong thing. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, here we go. Let's talk about the impact of mom. 2 of swords. This is you trusting your intuition, your mother's intuition, realize the gifts that she's given you. Also recognize that the decisions that you have to make now are also about yourself. Maybe you can give me some validation here. Did she have congestive heart failure, Carol? She's talking about this being, she's saying we were smart in the end. Hey, Donna, now do you see why I needed to warm up a little? We're only 1 more away, so hang in there. Carol, it's almost like when she was passing, oh, you had to make a choice for her. That's what this is. I think you were being burdened with some time. I'm interested in this last card, but I also think this is, she's talking about you being the matriarch. She's saying you're in charge, and she's also saying, now I don't know if you're the executrix of the will, but I think that you're making a lot of the decisions about what's going on with just the piecemeal stuff. It's not even like it's an estate. It's like we're not even going to count this. We're just going to divvy it up, or we're just going to take care of it. But she's talking about the congestive heart failure, and she's talking about filling up. Everything's about filling up, and she's saying it's 30. She was in Aquarius, okay, but complications from dementia. Did she actually? Did her body shut down? If I didn't know better, I would have said it was like, oh, did you make a choice about where she was living? There it is. Because she's still talking about this. It's almost like things were just shutting down. So like her liver failed, her kidneys failed, her lungs failed, her heart's failed. Like it just kind of like all just kind of like, meh. I don't know what your current situation is. I don't know what your situation is. But I'll tell you, when the Page of Cups and the Lover's card comes out, somebody's working towards your happiness there, Carol. And I'm itching. I don't know what all this is. You got 3 choice cards in a row. So let me get this straight. Her last words to you was "I love you," and I pull out the Lover's card. And by the way, the Page of Cups is the feminine younger sister. Just to let you know. Yeah, she had the blood clots in the lung. Okay. And the last card is the Lovers. The only time you mentioned love on any of the cards, I just pulled it for you. Where's the messages? Venus energy, pure joy. Make love to life. How about that one? She's reminding you you're still alive. Also, is she who's the Taurus? I don't know who the Taurus is, but you would get the Lover's card. This is Gemini. Whenever you talk about the sweetness and yeah, boy, this is Gemini. Gemini. Are you a Gemini? If you're a Gemini, I get full credit on this one. Or Scorpio. Kind of being a rock star here, or the water sign. This is, if I didn't know better, I would have said you are like a Cancer with a Gemini rising, based on this card spread. Based on this card spread. Whew. There's a lot going on there. Carol, I'm glad I'm giving you chills. Sorry for your loss. And it's an interesting. There's a lot going on with this. And by the way, the holy shit. I'm going to tell you why this is your mom. She was a Taurus rising. This right here is a Taurus card. But you mentioned that she couldn't breathe because of blood clots. That's actually what happens to fish out of water. You know how they're gasping for air because what they're trying to do is process it through the water. They don't know if they actually get clots. What she's showing me, she couldn't breathe. Just to let you know, guys, this stuff, sometimes you got to back into it, but it's very real. Very real. Virgo Sun, Aquarius rising. All right, we'll hold that against her. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Well, listen, I'm sorry for your loss there. Um, we're barreling towards Donna here. We got one more before Donna. And I think it's interesting that she chose this. And who's Christine, Carol? Christine, maybe it's a Christopher. It's almost like, oh, this, all right, I'm gonna go here. Something about, I don't know if it's like Ruth Chris Steakhouse or something, but she's talking about this like it's like forever and a day. Carol, I don't know. We're going down a reading path here. But boy, oh boy, I gotta tell you, I think that she's gonna make her presence known in so many ways, in so many different ways. Um, hey Cheryl, I see your message there. Yeah, she's talking to the people, right? So that's called soul nesting. Somebody has a post out there about um it came up in a conversation, a reading, or what have you, when they start talking to people that have crossed over already. And it doesn't matter if they have dementia, Alzheimer's, straight as an arrow, that sort of thing. When people start connecting with their past loved ones that are behind them, Chris is your mom's cousin. Your mom's talking about Chris. Is Chris in passing too, Carol? When people talk about people that have crossed over before them, it's the visualization that they're coming to you to kind of be like, they're not there to bring you over. They're not there to cross you over. That is not their, we got archangels for that. But what they are doing is letting you know that there is a bridge, if you will. Like it's one less thing to be worried about. So if you're contentious in your body and going, oh no, I'm not going anywhere, and your loved one comes to you and says like, it's okay, come on over, and then you're a little more apt to be like, oh, who is this? And it's like, well, I'm Michael, I'm here to protect you. This is Azrael, he's kind of a prick, but your affairs are in order according to him, and we're going to bring you over, we're going to do all of this conversation. And again, we're talking, none of us know for certain, but we have pretty good darts that we throw at that have some level of consistency. But she's talking about Chris being somebody that was there for her on this side and on the other side. And she's just got, oh my gosh. And who's the redhead, Carol? I don't know. Maybe she was just a Lucille. Okay, I'm not killing her, Carol. That's all good. I know she's alive. But I think what she's trying to talk about is like how she's helping them. And I don't know if she was like a Lucille Ball fan or if she just ate a lot of chocolates on a conveyor belt. I don't know what this is, but she's showing me Lucille Ball. She's showing me the redhead. She's trying. I don't know if she's trying to get me to the redhead or just her sense of humor. Oh, Chris's mother. Huh. All right, Carol. I'm going to go on to the next one because Donna is chomping at the bit. Donna is absolutely like, how long is this going to be? Yeah, I'm dragging it out a little bit because this is what I do. But I'm totally, um, it's an interesting, scenario. Um, wow, there's a lot going on here. Oh, Carol, I'm backing up here. It's funny. I'm going to be in Minnesota in a week and a half. It's kind of funny. I'll do some scouting for you. Go Twins. Go Twins. That's all I'm going to say right now. Um, oh, she was close to that. Yeah, Carol, there's some stuff going on here. Hmm. Oh, Francesca, good to see you again, love. Thank you again for the note. Yeah, sure, Lenny. Here you go. Here's a couple of three. Then Donna, we're jumping into you here. Oh, come on, right out of the gate. Are you kidding me, Lenny? Here you go. Pretty good for 64, right? That's no curveball. Look at this. Knight of Swords. This is learning lessons along the way. And then we're going to go in reverse here. Oh, this is just every little thing's going to be all right now. How about that? How about that? And then how about the Page of Cups? This is about, I don't know if you have a child or a young child or a grandchild coming in, but that's kind of a big thing. Big thing. Six of Pentacles. You balanced out all of those things. And how about that? Come on, cover to cover, kids. Come on, Lenny. You start with the 10 of Cups, you end with the 10 of Cups. I can't help you from here. You know what this is? You got nicks in the fender. You got nicks in the fender. You know, you probably had a health scare in the last couple of years, right? But I'll tell you though, this is about a new kind of outlook in life, and maybe you're just approaching your money differently. Maybe you're just approaching kind of how you live your life a little differently. Maybe you're taking better care of the old self, right? The soul memories and gifts. You feel like you've done this before, so you're applying lessons. Lenny, this is a good thing. All right, Carol, we'll catch up soon. But I'll tell you, this is Carol, Lenny, this is about you applying the lessons and deciding for yourself where you want to go. Boy, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. I got to get to Donna because now I'm getting inundated. Those of you that saw her post, she lost her brother. And I asked her to hang out for a little bit because I wanted to get things channeled and cleared. Wow. Lenny, thanks again for tuning in, love. All right. You need a new knee. Well, go rock and roll that one. All right, Donna. Thanks for letting you know. And by the way, Donna, you totally won me over with your kitty there. Look at that cat, everybody. By the way, the Crystal Kids coming in love cats and dogs. We don't pick sides. This is how we roll, kids. All right, here we go. If I recall correctly, we were talking about your brother. I'm going to give a little bit of a... Oh, I see what's going on. You guys got to hang in there. Yeah, I don't see your original post. Dave, Don, there it is. Your cat's name is Joy. Well, a cat named Easter said we'd never learn. So here you go, Donna. Here we go. It's for your brother, Don. So Four of Pentacles comes out. This is a couple of different things. First of all, this is a Turinian card. It is Taurus. It is also hanging on tightly to things like money. It's one of the other FOMO cards where you're like, hey, I don't know if I could keep this or not, but I want this to be the best that we can be. And by the way, it doesn't allow you to grow, but you don't lose. And then the Justice card comes out. So this is about balance. It's also a Libra. It's also being able to recognize that there are some things out of this. Boy, there's paradise around here. 10 of Pentacles showing up. I don't know if he was a frugal person, but it seems like he is, according to the cards here, Donna. Might have been a lawyer. Might have been a judge. Might have had a judgment. Could have had a lot of different things here. Why is he trying to convey money right now? Not really sure. The 10 of Pentacles is also a Capricorn card. So there's a lot of practicality here. And by the way, Libra is the most practical of all of the air signs. It is the one that is the most logical. It is the one that is least vengeful. It is the one that is able to kind of like distill myth, so to speak. So there's some balance here with this. Talk to us about your health. Four of Wands. Wow. He liked being frugal. That was his job. I don't know how accurate I am on any of this stuff. He was in medical sales in December 17th. Yeah, so he was So he was a Sagittarius, but he was right up against this stuff. So he was about the balance of it. So maybe it was mind, body, health. And then, wow, Knight of Swords comes out here. By the way, notice how the sword is here, and then he went out there and did it. Makes sense for a medical sales rep. And then at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, you know what? I got a crazy question. Did he? Oh, Donna. Did what he did on the road? Like, I'm assuming he's on the road here. He kind of loved what he did. But I'm starting to wonder if it was something where it's like he didn't have joy in what he did anymore. Then it just became old hat. And that might have been the reason why he didn't treat himself. It could be the reason why he didn't follow through with doctors. Could have been the reason for a lot of different things here. Right? Wow. I'm sorry that this is that's super untimely. Super untimely. Right? Huh. I don't know who the A is. Who's Anthony Andrew? There's an A connected to Don here. Hey Sharon, how are you? Adrian, thank you. Don, I don't know who the A is connected to him, but they show me big A. Whew. None of this worked. Wow. I know you're not typing right now because you can't. Your sister Amy. He's talking about her. Not only was this untimely, but it was also there was some coldness to it. I don't know if he was alone. I don't know if he was. Wow. Was he also not involved with the family? I gotta stay on this. It's not letting me go. It's almost as if he's like not fully engaged. He wasn't fully engaged with everything that was going on. Wow. I don't know how he passed, and I don't know if that's something that we want to talk about here. Yeah. Wow, that's rough. Yeah, Donna, I got to tell you, I think he didn't pay attention to the warning signs. Yeah. I think he was detached in a lot of different ways. He's also talking about Vincent, Vincenzo, Evelyn. It's like a V. There's a V, Victoria. And he's talking about this like he's not leaving. He's saying none of us are leaving. I don't know if he was fighting over his house or what the deal was. He was under a boatload of stress. He was a type 1 diabetic. Okay, then you understand why I'm saying this. He didn't handle stress well. I'm going to stand behind everything I've said to you. It's almost like, oh, man. I wish your brother got out there and played. I wish your brother got out there and did the things he wanted to do. He would have found different joy in those. I think he was a good provider, but he was not there. Holy Jesus. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the Earth School. These are life lessons. This is soul growth. and the study of higher learning. This was him saying, this was my lesson in this life. I think he came from a point of like, so if I had to be super scrutiny here we go. He was together with somebody, but he thought maybe he could have done better, but he was just content. There was a contentness here. And by the way, that's not a knock on his wife, that's not a knock on his life, but he might have been unhappy and just like rode with it. Like, I'm gonna be happy with being unhappy. And then you have two, not one, but two swords here with the justice card. Balance, and he didn't take initiative. He wasn't taking initiative. His type 1 diabetic could have dropped off, and here you go. This is him kind of saying, okay, well, listen, we're here and we've kind of got to change this. This is where it's like, I'm not going to be emotionally valued to it, but, like the sale of a house, like being able to get rid of something. So you get where I'm going with this on Donna. And then the Earth School is he was there to teach lessons. He was there to learn. He was there to see. He was there to grow. That's it. That was his job. How well did he do it? Who's John? Who's John, Donna? I'm going to say Jack, but I don't think that's his. I don't think everybody called him Jack. Who's John to you? Who's John to him? And by the way, men think that, they don't make adjustments when they get sick or they get hurt or they whatever. They're like, I'm going to keep going. I was losing parts of my body, figuratively and literally. None of his best friends. John's his best friend. He's talking about John. But men don't take care of themselves. We just don't, because we're conditioned to be the provider. We're conditioned to be the person that like, oh, just rub a little dirt on it. You'll get through it. You can do anything. You can be anything you want. Well, you can't be that. We're conditioned to be like, well, we're going to be only so happy. One of the best things I ever did for myself was to quit corporate America. And by the way, it's not for everybody. Some people need it. Some people need that county job. Some people need that state job. Some people need that, they feel like they're making a difference at the front desk reception. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But you got to be comfortable with it. You got to figure out your style. I think he pushed the envelope on a regular basis, and I think his insulin pump failed. I don't know if he had like a permanent. I don't know if he had just a permanent insulin lead, like a PICC line or whatever. I know PICC lines go into the heart. I'm being technically wrong. Oh gosh. He's also talking about he's talking about a presentation. I don't know who this presentation is. Started drinking heavily. So I'm going to tell you what this is. So don't forget, I had the Justice card out with the Knight of Swords. He started acting in a different way, out of balance. The Justice card, he's sitting there in balance, holding it. His pump gave out because he was pumping it too much, Donna. I don't know who's in May 23rd. He's being specific. He's saying 5-5, and then he's talking about this is the way that it was supposed to be. Oh, Sharon, that's great. Sometimes you need that support. Sometimes you have to recognize that you're worthy of that support. Um, Donna, I also think that something about I don't know if he was at the track May 24th and yours is 29. Okay. By the way, when they give me birthdays, they give me birthdays day before, day after. So mom was May 24th, not May 25th. Okay. And then May 29th is yours. Okay. And he's just he's giving you connection. And he's saying and he's talking about mom. And he's talking about I don't know if mom is still with us. I think she has passed. And he's saying 7 years ago. Um he is very much in good hands with her. He's talking about he was missing her. Did you guys recently lose mom? She passed 4 years ago. Okay. But what's the 7? Is it July? It's almost like mom made her presence known in a very different way. Wow. Sorry to go down this path, guys, but this is where spirit's going. Nope, this is where we're going. And who's the bell that she passed away September 5th? Who's the bell? Annabelle, Isabel. Oh, I know what this is. Her favorite movie was It's a Wonderful Life. Every time an angel ring, every time an angel, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Wow, I'm getting tired. Keys draining, man. Listen, your brother wants you to recognize that everybody's. I don't know what the deal is with the track. I don't know if he was into gambling or horses or he had a horse name or horse nicknames. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Sharon. Um, it's almost like he has a it's like there's some tradition. I know what this is. Like there's some tradition connected to do you guys have a family reunion coming up or do you guys on like Labor Day get together in mom's name? Like is this something you guys do where you're like, okay, here we go. And again, I'm seeing it through things that my family used to do and we don't do that anymore. I don't get the phone call. But I don't know what this tradition is. Maybe this is about talking about the tradition of things. I don't know. Donna, I'm sorry about your brother. It's not anybody's fault, and it was done by his own. It's just the way it is. It was by his own hand. That's how he shows up. In other words, he was in control of his drinks. And when you're diabetic, you are fragile. It is the one condition that you can't just go like, I'm fine. By the way, my sugar dropped heavily in the first set, which is why I kind of had to bail for a little bit. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't jazzed. I had to bring it back. So Donna, I'm sorry about your loss here. You're very welcome. Thanks for sticking around. I'm going to do one more read here for everybody. Got some interesting energy coming our way, don't we? It's almost like we're playing spy double spy at the top of the branch here. But here's 3 cards for everybody, guys. Take a simple, gentle, deep breath in. Let's bring in our bright light. Let's ask our guides to connect with one another as we ask for messages to come through, for the messages we're hope to receive. And here we go. Here comes the Emperor. Some keen, aggressive energy. Hello, Mars. You're welcome, Debbie. Eliza, thanks so much. Tell 2 friends, please. The Emperor shows up because the Emperor is about taking charge, a little bit of the Mars bar here, if you will, kids. And then we've got the World card. Let's just balance this in cycles and understanding how things kind of progress. And then we're going to go ahead and go a little more Mars and go the Knight of Wands. Oh, behave. Wow, this is kind of fun. So this is what this is really talking about. It is about taking the world by the horns. You only have so many days, everybody. You just do. And you know what? Some of those days are for rest. Some of those days are for thinking. And some of those days are about action. The astrology right now is all about the action. What are we doing here? Oh, the Emperor. Hey, listen, this is good, quiet ego. It's about planning. This is about kind of like mapping it out. What does the world have to say about this? Oh, the world has to say either jump on or you're going to be left behind. The 4 of Cups here is the FOMO card. Either you are a full on operative, connective person or you're missing out. Knight of Wands. In reverse, you're welcome, everybody. It's time for us to stop being our worst enemy. We are all on a double mission. Didn't I just say double agent? Didn't I just say double agent? Can I get an amen? Here we go. Hey, Tammy, how are you? You're coming in at the end. You got to reverse it. So here you go. The double mission, Lightworkers Star Seed. When we just talk about this in this office, serve the world by just being you. I don't care if you're type 1 diabetic. You can take care of yourself and do everything you want to do. You can have breast cancer, and because of our current technology, you can be in remission in 3 months. Not saying it's not a serious thing. You got to pay attention to it. You got to be engaged, but you got to choose to heal. By the way, there's a shout out to one of my friends. You're going to be great, kid. We're on a double mission here. We're serving the earth and we're serving spirit at the same time. Holy shit. Go figure. The world is sitting here, and are you going to sit there and go like, I don't know what I'm doing? Why does everybody else have the thing and I don't? You know what? When I'm rich, I'll do all those things. You're never going to be rich. It's not how it works. You guys do realize that the greatest economy is emerging right now. It is the... Why do people quit their job? I was in corporate recruiting for 15 years. I made a boatload of money doing it. You know why? Because people were always unhappy. All I had to do was just say like, you can make two more shekels over here, and people will be like, can I start on Monday? Well, what about giving notice? Screw them. You know why people don't quit their job? They like people that they work with. Because they're kind, because their boss respects them. It's the only reason. You can find 20 shekels somewhere else, guys, everywhere. Guarantee it. You can also find 20 shekels less. But then be happy because there's better people there. More prestigious, more whatever. You have to be a fully engaged human today. That is the lay of the land. You want to sit back and go like, maybe I'll do this. All right. It's up to you. You can sit there and talk a good game. We are on a mission to serve Earth and to serve Spirit. Everybody that's ever been pissed off at me is because I didn't serve them in Earth. Everyone that's always picked me up, it's because I've served them in Spirit. It's that simple. There are no unsaid words. There are no unsaid vibrations. If you're real and you're authentic, and you let the world pass you by, and you let the world just kind of do its thing. There's days of that, but It's still here because I chose to be. And I'm going to make the most of it. You should too.